Alright, hello friends, I'm Akash, and this is your news of the week for the week of February 13th, 2021. And today I want to talk about these topics, starting with the latest Super Bowl 55 LV occurred last Sunday, and it was fantastic. I'll talk about it later, but first let's look at some of the other important news that have been going on. Of course, there's also the Trump impeachment trial going on right now in the US Senate. And very soon, today, we will find the Senate either convicting or acquitting President Trump. Now, the next issue I want to talk about is, of course, the winter storm that is currently going on here in the US and Canada because of a polar vortex. And next, we have the two orbiters from two different countries separately reaching Mars from the UAE and China. And finally, we have the Indian farmers protest. And one more special one, we have Valentine's Day, which is coming on February 14th. And now, let's go over each of these news, starting with the Super Bowl, which occurred on February 7th at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida, between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs were last year's reigning champions, and they were facing off against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, now with former Patriots quarterback Tom Brady on their side. And guess what? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers won, and this is a record, which means in the first time in Super Bowl history, we have a team which has won at their home stadium, which is Raymond James Stadium in Tampa Bay in Florida. Now, this is, like I said, it is a record, and if we look at the scores, it is just wonderful. At the beginning, the Kansas City Chiefs managed to get 3 points on the board, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers managed to score a touchdown. That gives them 7 points, and for almost the entirety of the tournament, they repeatedly earned touchdowns and scored them, and of course, they managed to win. Now, the Super Bowl was really fascinating. It was on CBS this year, and I really loved it. And I hope all of you watched it too, because it is loads of fun watching the Super Bowl. Now, the next issue I want to talk about is the Senate impeachment trial of former President Trump. Now, both sides have stated their cases, and you will see that later today we are going to see the Senate's official verdict on whether to convict or to acquit the former President Trump. Now, as it stands, I'm assuming that he's probably going to be acquitted, because if we assume that all Democrats are going to vote for impeachment, and that plus roughly 5 or so Republicans, that would mean 56, given that Democrats have just the slightest majority in the Senate with 51 seats. So the thing is, when impeachment trials occur in the Senate, it's not a 1/2 or more to win. Rather, it's 2/3 or more to win. And so it's not a simple majority. It's a 2/3 majority. And since 56 is nowhere near 66, what is needed, or 67, and it's because of that it's probably going to not be acquitted. He's probably not going to be acquitted. But we still have to wait until the vote actually happens. But at least for now, we're assuming that President Trump is probably going to be acquitted. Now, The next issue I want to talk about is the winter storm, polar vortex, that is currently sweeping most of the US and Canada. So a polar vortex is basically when there is an area of low pressure and really coldness that is going around, spinning counterclockwise around the poles. And the thing is, when these polar vortexes occur, the majority of the coldness that you're going to feel isn't actually going to be now. It's actually going to be on Sunday and Monday. So everyone, take good precautions because it is reaching through the entirety of the country almost. Temperatures are incredibly low, from 1 degrees over here and all the way to negative 51 degrees in Fargo, North Dakota, and even further probably. It is in Canada. It is incredibly cold. And some of you may have seen the chaos that has occurred on the Dallas-Fort Worth highway on the early morning during rush hour of February 11th, in which there was a 100-car pileup because the road had black ice on it. So when you press the brake, your car isn't going to stop. The cars would just keep going, and trucks collided into each other with a bunch of cars already there, and suddenly what you have is a 100-car pileup on a Fort Worth highway, which has killed 7 people, and many others are in the hospital right now. So that's why I highly suggest that you don't go outside unless it is absolutely necessary. But do make sure to fuel up your cars before anything very bad starts to happen. And if you do have to drive, then make sure to drive slowly and carefully. Also, make sure to charge up your ports or charge up anything you can just in case the power does go out. It is incredibly a really bad situation with this polar vortex, and so I highly recommend that you all stay safe right now during this winter storm polar vortex. And now there is another topic I want to talk about, and that is that there are 2 independent space probes which have actually come to Mars at the same time, separately. The first one is the UAE's Hope orbiter, which was launched from a space center in Japan. It was done using the help of Japan's rockets from the Mitsubishi company. You know, that company which is famous for making cars, but they also make loads of other things, and that does include rockets. So they launched the Hope orbiter on one of those Mitsubishi heavy rockets. And separately, Tianwen-1, which is a Chinese space probe launched from a Chinese space center, and that one also reached Mars. Both of them are probes meant to reach Mars, and they did at the exact same time. And we got some pretty cool photos. If you search it up, you're going to see that there's lots of really good photos of it happening. And it is really awesome, especially for me because I love astronomy and space. Now, also, there is a big issue that's been going on in India for a total of 3 months so far, and that is the Indian farmers' protest. It's been going on for 3 months, and I genuinely hope that the 2 sides, the government and the farmers, sit down and resolve this issue peacefully. I really hope that things will be back to normal. And finally, and I think this is probably a lot of your favorites, story of the week, and that is Valentine's Day is on February 14th. So, and that is tomorrow. So it's going to be really, really awesome because it is Valentine's Day. So it's the day of love everywhere, and it was originally just a celebration of love in the Western world, but now it's expanded to a celebration everywhere. And I'm pretty sure you all know the famed tradition of choosing your Valentine on Valentine's Day, choosing your sweetheart to send a love card to. And Valentine's Day is going to be a great day. So I hope that you all have chosen your Valentines. It's going to be a really nice day. And I think that is all of the news of the week this week. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you next week for some more news of the week. We'll see you soon.